Views were expressed regarding the Google Loon project on the Face the Nation program aired last night, as well as at a media briefing convened by the SLFP Youth Front today.
So the most valuable spectrum currently is 900 megahertz spectrum, where most of us are using it to get our phone calls today, even today. Then 700 is currently used for terrestrial broadcasting, television broadcasting. France, really which is a rich country, which auctioned it in 2015, they raised $3 billion from the auction. $3 billion from the auction. So the comparable numbers that I have are probably for Taiwan, which is still a more prosperous country, and there it's about 1 million for 1 megahertz. So if you just think we'll get prices similar to Taiwan, it should be about 10 million for the 10 megahertz that Google is asking for. If you release it, we will be able to give our people very high quality data connectivity on one side, and the government will get a ton of money on the other side. Way more than what you get for Hambantota.
What Google's stated intention and what Google and Facebook wants to do are probably two different things. The idea is you put your, it's like a camel entering a tent. You put your nose in first, you get the connectivity, and then you say, well, why can't we provide this to all of the world or all of Sri Lanka? I think what you have to understand is these are companies that make commercial decisions. And sometimes charity is a form of a commercial decision where you use charity to enter a market or enter a position, and then you expand it into a business opportunity. That happens worldwide. Let's look at it this way. Let's say TRC says, okay, 700 bandwidth is only going to be used by TRC for all the internet, all the phone companies in Sri Lanka. And we're going to charge you per usage. That's a rational, from a TRC point of view, it's a rational use of scarce resources. Make sure everyone gets the resources, and since you have one contiguous bandwidth, you're better able to actually utilize the bandwidth.
Why is it that Chamath is so interested about Sri Lanka? If you were Chamath, how would you look at it? Okay. Let's say you are in that position.
If I was in that position, what I would do is, honestly, I would think of a way to monetize this position, this spectrum.
I have immediately called for the resignation of the CEO of ICTA. Why? Where is the transparency that we have thought of? Where is the transparency? We are not the Rajapaksa regime. The difficulty we had in bringing this government to power, and the promise that we made to public, was that we are going to be very transparent. These type of things will never happen. These are the promises, pledges that we gave to the people. People are still waiting for good governance. Actually, if you take the president, he never wanted to interfere with the administration of the government. He gave everybody a free hand. He gave up his powers also to parliament and thought that everything will go smooth. But no, you saw from, as you said, starting from the bond issue, then the Horana tire factory, then the Volkswagen coming in, right? Everything the government is messing up it in style, right? And the people are worried as to, is this the government that we voted for? So in Sri Lanka, we have always seen a person coming for a trial with an understanding. After with the tender is called, which is tailor-made to the person who came for the trial. This is how it happens in Sri Lanka, usually. Every tender has been that. So this was also going to be tailor-made to that company, but unfortunately it failed.
It may be the President, the Prime Minister, a Cabinet Minister or some institution. Emphasis on the word some. We have now identified groups of officials attached to certain institutions. They are using their official privileges with the aim of carrying out certain businesses. As an example, let us see the Google Loon project carried out by ICTA. Those frequencies were to be given to a private company to be controlled, and this affected the media institutions in our country, especially the private media institutions. Some public representatives and state state officials are responsible for such actions without even the knowledge of the hierarchy of the government. Who gets a bad name because of their actions? It is the incumbent government, the leader of the country and the subject minister. This is not good for the future of the country. At this point of time, we specially draw the attention of the government. Please identify such corrupt officials and carry out investigations against them and then mete out necessary legal action for what they have done. What is the proper procedure to select the CEO of ICTA? In the selection process, did the board of directors follow a competitive and fair procedure? At which level was approval obtained? Did the ministry secretary approve the instructions issued by the CEO on how to call for bids?